Turning back to politics and policy, on his way back from the World Economic Forum, President Trump was asked how long would it take to put together a deal on Greenland. Stop me if you've heard this before. He said it'd be about 2 weeks. Award-winning war correspondent Kenneth Rosen joins me now. Why? Well, because he's the author of the extraordinarily well-timed book, Polar War: Submarines, Spies, and the Struggle for Power in a Melting Arctic. So, Kenneth, I've read about half of the book. Give me your 30-second take on the Greenland of it all this week in Davos.
The Greenland of it all. Well, it's been an ongoing power struggle in the circumpolar north for about a decade now. It's only recently ramped up and was notably ramped up when Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in the first Trump administration introduced militarization to the north, and this idea of bringing militaries up north as the climate warms 4 to 5 times faster than the rest of the world. So as we see that ice melt, we're seeing more and more countries move to the north to look for opportunities that didn't exist before climate change.
What would you say to Americans who might ask themselves, not unreasonably, so it's melting up there, the Russians are there, the Chinese are there, is the United States doing enough, and is this brusque, anti or sort of counter-diplomatic way that Trump is pursuing helpful to U.S. interests?
It is an important part of the world. It's important for our national defense. It's important for our sovereignty. It's important to maintain competency in the far north. And we have not, as a nation, been able to do that since the end of the Cold War. We've pulled back all the bases that we once had up there. We have fewer personnel who are competent in high north cold weather warfare. And we simply just don't have the seafaring ships and the icebreakers in order to operate up there year round. We are competing with some other nations who aren't considered Arctic states. By virtue of Alaska, we as Americans are part of an Arctic nation. But as the climate warms and more access is available to those in the mid-latitudes, we're seeing India, China, and other nations look for opportunities up in the north. We do need better defenses up in Alaska and across North America, but we need to work with our partners for that. And this bellicose rhetoric coming out of Washington only threatens to undermine our already weak position in the north.
I'm going to read from page 110, Kenneth, with your permission. Greenland is not seeking to be bought, nor is it looking to be rescued. It is seeking dignity, cooperation, and respect. Are those attainable?
I think we've been set back. I think the Greenlanders, the Inuit people of Greenland have been set back a ways, given the last 2 weeks and the desire for the Trump administration to take over a sovereign nation. They have been, since 2008, looking for independence and self-determination. That's their entire goal and what they've been focused on for much of their history. And now that's been threatened because of this sideshow that's been coming out of Washington. And I spend a lot of the book trying to underscore this notion that partnership in the north, partnership with our NATO allies, the Scandinavian nations, the Nordic nations, who have much greater claims to the north, is what's going to benefit us in the long run as a nation, as an Arctic power. And to bring that back into the fold, to be more competent and more able-bodied within the north, is to rely on our partners, not to diminish them.
And in about 20 seconds, Kenneth, this framework doesn't have any details, and they may be fleshed out, but it sounds to me it's going to be like what it always was, some sort of cooperation which they were always offering in the first place.
We already had all the access we need, Major. I don't know why we would go and jeopardize it, but I'm not really certain that the framework is anything other than rhetoric. And I can assure you from my experience in the circumpolar north over 3 years that this is only going to come back in full force in a few short months.
You have expert experience there, and I'm very appreciative to have you with us. Kenneth Rosen, the book, Polar War: Submarine, Spies, and the Struggle for Power in a Melting Arctic. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.